Zena.
Here I am.
Zena,
This
greetings.
is Zena.
Greetings, Zena. Ashana here.
How are you?
I am just wonderful, thank you.
Oh, I'm very happy.
And you?
No, I could not be in a much more pleasant, positive, cheerful mood, if one could use the word mood. I am in a position of great cheerfulness.
How nice.
I'm very much alive. Alive and bubbling all over.
Well, tell me about it. How are your people, and what about your progress since we first contacted you more than 10 days, just 10 days ago, 11 days ago? Yes, do tell us of your progress and what has happened since we first contacted you.
10 days seems like 10,000 years.
Oh, this is a good
sign. So much has happened. Yes. I could almost swear that the Earth accelerated its oscillation around the sun. And what was accomplished each day was multiplied the next day. I mean, our accomplishments have been unbelievable.
Would you relate for our tapes and our books, would you relate precisely in what way you've made progress?
Do you recall our problem?
I could look back in the books. I would much rather you relate it for the tapes. So these tapes are also continuous, and it is more important than the people hear it. Then tell us just a little about it, so it will be a connection for them, will you?
Well, it's almost laughable if I told you I almost forgot my problem.
That's wonderful.
Or what was the problem? Because we're so caught up now in reconstructing the entire psychological climate of this planet that we have no time to look back. Well, our problem was a combination of overextension in the scientific plane.
Yes.
To give too much great emphasis on the purely physical, and just a lack of raising the frequency to see that this world was one of many millions or billions, and that it was all part of a grand system of evolution.
Simply a lack of a proper balance in all aspects of life.
That's right.
Yeah.
And there was beginning to be a great decomposition here. I've heard that many of the brothers and sisters have had problems having to do with the mechanization of their civilizations. Well, this is the same here, and it has an influence in every aspect of life. I can say that we have now a balance.
Wonderful.
The beginnings of a balance. Yeah. It is not completed.
Well,
it will take many, many years.
Of course.
But people are not withholding the introduction of new ideas. They do not say, well, we know all we must know because this is based upon the way it was taught to us from past lifetimes, and besides the scientists have stated that it is so and so, and so and so.
Yeah.
And now I've had the great assistance of the resolution of the way in which to begin this rebuilding of the spiritual climate here, and the great brother lends has furnished me with all that I need, and more than I need to start with. It was suggested that I start in the area which was of the most, uh, which had the greatest weakness.
Of course.
And the weakness and the strength was resonant with, uh, that it was the scientists. They were the ones to whom the people were looking up to. It's very similar to other worlds, I'm sure.
Yes. Oh, the biggest part of the world, the biggest part of the planets. This is true. Yes, most all.
The polarization that you accomplished changed almost, I would say, it changed overnight or within,
yes,
who knows, instantaneously. But on the physical basis, I saw that the attitude of those who are close to me, involved in scientific work, changed, even so slightly. Uh, my my polarities were able to uh, help in a great meeting that was put together.
Well, that's very wonderful. Very wonderful.
We tried to do this. We tried to take all knowledge that they had about energy, that they knew with regards to the application to their present third dimensional understandings. And then we related the energy concept to each one as they were a, a configuration of millions of frequency patterns or vortexes. So we had prepared slides, and we took one of the mechanisms that is well known here, the oscillator,
yeah.
or the oscilloscope,
Yeah.
and we related this oscilloscope to the function of each one ourselves, the function of our own anatomy. And we had the additional opportunity to demonstrate to the scientists, and they were willing, they were open about this, which was the great change, that that block had been removed.
Well,
we demonstrated to them the fact that the human being was no different than the patterns that showed on the oscilloscope, which were the patterns of any signal that was presented or transmitted to the oscilloscope based upon some intelligent form of life, whether it was a picture, a static, so-called static reflection of a building, or whether it was of a picture of people. And then we had this demonstration where the individual would step behind a screen which was built. This was uh, the oscillator screen that was described by the lens and explained as to its development. And lo and behold, they saw the same waveforms on the screen which represented that individual who was standing directly behind it.
yes, their psychic anatomy, their
Yes.
energy body.
And so they immediately grasped the great truth.
The great significance. Oh, indeed, a picture is worth, the old saying here is a picture is worth 1,000 words, but in that case, a picture is worth many, many millions of words. You could instruct that person for years on end. It would never, word forms, it would never mean what it does when he sees. That's wonderful.
Well, I'll use one of the expressions we I don't know, it doesn't sound like it's proper somehow, but it we got them where they
Hair is short?
could understand their own language.
We would say over here we got them where the hair is short.
Well, would you please explain the meaning of that? I'm a bit dense.
Well, if you are trying to pull someone's hair out and it is short, they wouldn't have much chance, you see.
Oh, well, I am dense. I did not
Well, here's
understand.
the only thing, the boxers and the wrestlers who have these carry on these sports in this planet, they always wear their hair so short because if the wrestlers get mad at each other sometime, they used to entangle their hands in their hair, and they could cause them great misery. They would get mad and throw each other around by their hair. So now they keep their hair clipped so short they can't do that. So they're from the saying. But this was a wonderful, wonderful thing, and I imagine you had some very interesting reactions, did you not?
Well, no one was sitting down. As a matter of fact, we had a convergence. They all ran down the stairways from the levels, and they all came down to stand as much as they could and to see that what they saw was true, that there was actually a person behind the screen, because they, at first, well, it was much too much of
Mm-hmm.
a surprise. It was much too new to them. They thought that human being was simply a mass of interlinking nerves,
Yeah.
fibers, muscle, and bone.
Well,
Believe it or not, this
uh,
was the state of
our people
understanding.
here do. Our people here think exactly that way, and I am most pleased to hear that you had such wonderful success reactions, and I know this would be true with any planet. I look forward to with great anticipation. Believe me, when we can thus show our people. I don't mean our people. I mean the people on this planet. For I am not one of them. No more than you are your people. But I will be happy when we can show to the people on this planet their psychic anatomies, or the oscillating waveforms that exist in any energy body, whether it is a tree or an animal or a human. And you will find very interesting energy configurations from even the psychic anatomy of a leaf or a tree or a flower.